Welcome back to Hardball. Time to talk about Mitt Romney's hunting habits. This is a riot. I don't know if it's important, but let's talk about it and some other political stories. But let's start with Chris Solis, of course, from the WashingtonPost.com and the Politicos, John Harris. You notice how he changes the subject from the type of game and the size of the game from the question of I've been a hunter all my life to I've hunted more than twice. Now, I've played golf maybe 20 times in my life. I am not a golfer.
A lifelong golfer?
I am not. I'm not hitting the 90s right now. I have a handicap. But I wouldn't call myself a golfer. He calls himself a hunter all his life, and then he tries to with this sort of pretty low-grade effort to spin it to I'm not big gain, it's little gain. It's such a cheap spin. Do you think the press will fall for it? The issue wasn't the size of the game. It was his claim to be a lifetime hunter.
And the issue isn't, I don't think,
will it work?
No, I don't think it. No, I don't think it will, and I'll tell you why. Because it plays into a storyline that exists with Mitt Romney, which is he says one thing which tends to be more conservative, but the reality tends to be more liberal.
Any more a conservative than he is a hunter?
Well, unless he goes out hunting this weekend on Easter Sunday.
Well, let's be bipartisan about this. Nothing was more of a yuck to most people, including me, than to see John Kerry running around in camo. A week before the election last time.
Oh, but Chris, this is tons of examples where this story is funny, but it can have real political consequences. Look at Al Gore, the way he was had his ears pinned back over some exaggerations. Hillary Clinton got hazed over saying she was a New York Yankees fan. It turned out, actually, that was right. She had been a lifelong Yankees fan, but people were all over her for supposedly embroidering her past. So these kind of trivial things can actually really be influential in building a storyline about it.
Let me be honest. In the old days, you'd down at Nathan's Hot Dogs in Brooklyn, eat a hot dog. You didn't claim you're from Brooklyn. And you put an Indian headdress on. You didn't claim to be an Indian. Now they're putting a headdress on and claiming to be an Indian. And they're claiming to be from Brooklyn. They're actually making it up. I mean, poor Joe Biden said he was a British prime minister. Or a British Labour Party leader once. Do they really? Is it a problem mentally? Do they actually think they were hunters all their life?
I think what they are being advised is, and this isn't the advice they're saying, but they're basically being advised, try to appease and appeal to as many groups as possible. And that means you're trying to be everything to everyone.
Delusional or illusional? Are they trying to create the illusion, or are they delusion themselves?
No, I think they have been told.
Okay, what does it mean? Let's parse this. I've been all my life. And then he says the next day, I've hunted more than 2 times. What does that mean?
It means he's hunted somewhere between 2 times in all his life.
But don't they? And then the other thing about joining the NRA the very year you're running for president, what's that about?
Again, I think it plays into, this is what John said, when it plays into a narrative and is potentially powerful. Mitt Romney's narrative is that he was pro-choice when he first ran. He's pro-right now.
If I join the Masons tomorrow to run for president, would that be credible? I don't think so.
Right, and that's the issue that he has. Is can he sell it? I would say someone with less gifts couldn't.
Well, there's a long history of candidates trying to do this. I remember John Kerry going to Philadelphia for the cheesesteak, ordering it with Swiss cheese, trying to be, in the neighborhood. Or the story about Sergeant Shriver went into the bar.
We ordered with provolone
for everybody, and then he ordered a Courvoisier for himself. Look, you're better off being yourself.
He ordered Swiss with his. It's really cheesesteak. You don't even see the cheese. It's cooked into the meat, right? By the way,
you're supposed to have it with cheese. What does he have?
I know because it's cooked into it. You can't see. By the way, it's not a cheese and steak sandwich. It's a cheesesteak sandwich. There's a difference. We'll be right back with Chris Solis and John Harris up next. Thank you, guys. We won't be back. Enough of the steaks, enough of the hunting. What a great hunt. I am convinced this reminds me of Elmer Fudd out chasing after Bugs Bunny.